Hello, welcome back to the Board Games 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be talking about a relatively old game. We're going to be talking about Zombicide. Oh my god. And in this game you'll be running around a modular map. You'll be trying to fulfill objectives whilst trying not to get your ass kicked by a horde of ravenous zombies. And in this video we'll be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we will come back and we will tell you whether or not Zombicide, we're talking about the first edition, not Black Plague or Green Horde or any of those ones, but the first edition is still worth playing today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this bloody channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you after this. Zombicide. How'd you play this game? The first thing that you've got to understand about Zombicide is it is a modular type of game. So you'll be choosing a scenario, whether it's from the rulebook or from a load of other sort of scenarios that you can download online. And believe me, there are a ton of scenarios available for Zombicide. So you choose your scenario, you choose your characters, you load up your dashboard with your starting weapons, you like your frying pan, maybe if you're lucky enough you might get a crowbar or something, and then you will set your damage marker to 0 and you'll be on your way to slaughtering a truckload of zombies, you know what I mean? So there's essentially two phases in this game. You've got the players phase and you've got the zombies phase. So in the players phase, all the players will take actions, and then the zombies will appear and then they'll do their actions. They'll move and they'll attack and all that sort. So each character gets 3 actions in this game, and there are a multitude of actions that you can take in this game, and they are: a player can choose to move 1 space. They can move from 1 space to the other space. So if you're indoors, you can search, and this is just a case of drawing the next card from the equipment deck, and you'll see what it is, and then you'll place it in the relevant area on your player board. But you've got to remember there's only a certain amount of things that you can carry, unless you've got a backpack or something that lets you carry more stuff. But you have got the option to swap stuff out if you want it. So you can open a door, and this is just a simple thing of whacking the door open and turning the tile over. But you need a special equipment or special skill to do this, and also bashing indoors makes a lot of noise, and you might have to put a noise token down on the board when you do this. Do you know what I mean? So the next thing you could do is you can reorganise your inventory, and this means that you can swap items out from your inventory, and then you can also gift players other stuff if you're in the same area. So then you've got the act of combat. You've got 2 types of combat. As always, you've got ranged combat, and then you've got melee combat, right? So there's other things that you could do. You can sort of interact with stuff in your area, like get in and out of a car. You can take or activate an objective token if the scenario wishes you to do that, you know what I mean? So you can also make noise, and this is useful for drawing zombies towards yourself to try and get them away from maybe the objective or some other players that are struggling, you know what I mean? Or you can do what I do most of the time, and that's do absolutely nothing. So once you've done all this, once everybody's taken all their turns and done all their actions and stuff, then the zombies will get to have their little go, right? So the zombies will attack first, and then they will move. So if zombies can attack a player, they will do so, and any zombies that didn't attack will then move. And when zombies move, they will always move towards survivors that they can see, or they'll move towards noise tokens. So you've got to be careful when you're doing stuff that creates noise, because you don't want them pesky zombies trying to bite your ankles while you're trying to run away from the big fatty. So once zombies have moved or attacked or whatever they want to do, then zombies will spawn in a certain location. And what you do, you flip over the next zombie card, and then it will tell you what type of zombie appears and how many of them appear, right? So once you've done all that, then you'll come to the end phase, and then what you do, you just take all the noise counters off, you do a little bit of resetting and all that sort of stuff, and then you'll go again, and you'll keep doing this until either all the survivors are dead, or maybe there's another type of objective that the scenario dictates to you. So there's loads of different scenarios. So once you've completed the objectives, then you win the game, and that's it. And that's how you play Zombicide. So what do we like about Zombicide? So the first thing that we really like about Zombicide is it's massive, it's bloody huge. Not only have you got the first box of Zombicide stuff, you've got the other ones, you've got the Prison Outbreak expansion, you've got the Rue Morgue expansion. Oh, listen to that. And each one of these expansions adds in a sort of a mini expansion, not a mini expansion, but it adds in a sort of a medium-sized box expansion into the mix, like the Angry Neighbours or the Toxic City Mall. So this game is one of the biggest and the boldest that we've ever played, and I love it. So the second thing that we really like about Zombicide is the way the game pushes and ramps up that tension as you progress through the scenarios. And every time we've played this, aside from when we got slaughtered in the first round, right, every time we've played this, we always get that sense that the game is building up and building up the sense of despair and sense of tension when you want it to, right? And this is a really exciting game. Okay, it's just a case of like maybe moving around, throwing a few dice, but the theme and the atmosphere come through in spades, and we love that. We love it. So the third thing that we like about Zombicide is this is essentially just a toolkit. It's a toolkit. You could do whatever you want with it. You can make up your own scenarios. You can make up your own characters. It doesn't matter if the game is balanced or not, because you can mould it into whatever you want. You know what I mean? There are a few problems with the games which we're going to talk about later on in the second bit of this, but it gives you the tools to do with what you want. And there's not really that many games out there that do it like Zombicide, you know what I mean? Because not only has it got those basic generic characters in the box, but it also nicks the sort of famous person type thing. You know, you've got Chuck Norris in there, you've got the guy from Machete in there, and all that sort of stuff. So there's all sorts of stuff going on there. And basically what it does, it just hands you a bag of tools, and then you can craft and mould the game to what you want it to be. So the final thing that we like about Zombicide is the way that it doesn't scrimp on miniatures. And the miniatures aren't the best in the world, but one thing that makes this game great is that out of the box you have got tons and tons of zombies, and they could have maybe like scraped on it a bit like Dead of Winter, where you get a certain amount of standees and maybe you get a few tokens when you run out. But if you get all the free or whatever, how many expansions there are for this, you aren't going to be short of zombies. And the best thing about looking at this game is when you finished it, you look at the amount of zombies that are on the board, and it really does mimic that sort of horde aspect really, really well, you know what I mean? So what don't we like about Zombicide? So the first thing that we don't like about Zombicide is the way that the equipment draw is essentially very unbalanced. And okay, we did say that we didn't care whether the game was balanced or not, but sometimes when you're playing this game, all you could be drawing is a bag of rice, or maybe a bottle of water, or maybe a frying pan. You know what I mean? There's no real way to force the game into giving you good stuff when you need it. You know what I mean? I know that's part of the game, but when you add in the expansions, there's not really any sort of guidelines in the rules to tell you what stuff needs to go into the draw deck. And it's up to you to mould that deck as you see fit. But in that sense, you're sort of bending things. You're sort of making the game too easy, or maybe making it too hard. So it'd be nice if there was some sort of guide that tells you how to prepare the deck dependent on what expansions are in play. And I know there's something on Board Game Geek that tells you what to do, but it'd be nice to have something official, wouldn't it? So the second thing that we don't like about Zombicide, and what probably is the thing that pisses us off the most, is the targeting system. The way that there's a hierarchy of how damage is attributed. You know what I mean? So if you're firing into a space with one of your mates in it, they're going to get the bullet first. And that is utter crap. We don't like that at all. And they've done the Prison Outbreak. They realised this was a problem, and they try to fix it with zombivores or zombivors or whatever it is, and where you come back as a sort of part zombie, and that sucked. So there's still not any way around it. There is some house rules about how you roll the dice, and if you roll a 6 or something, or something like that, then the players that are in that space get it. But I don't know. It's rubbish, right? So the next thing that we don't like about Zombicide is the way that the first edition player mats are really glossy, and all the stuff slides around, and you've got to pick the cards up and slot some underneath them. And when Black Plague come out, they fix this. They give you actual sort of player trays. So if you are thinking about getting Zombicide as a sort of a classic purchase, then you do need to go online and pick up some of the player trays, either from Black Plague or ones from, I don't know, is it Etsy or Alibaba or wherever you get them from, because they are an essential purchase. Because one knock at a table, if somebody sneezes all over your gear, it's going to go flying into the netherworld. So The final thing that we don't like about Zombicide is the way that the objectives haven't really got any sort of bearing on a game. They're just these sort of crosses with tiles on. And in the later versions, they gave you some different coloured crosses and stuff. But it would have been nice to have some sort of thematic link to what you're doing and what you got on a board, because it's just an arbitrary sort of ambiguous thing going on with the cross. And it's really, really poor. It would have been nice to have had some more cohesive link to what you're trying to do in your head and what you're trying to do on the floor. Right, so to summarise, is Zombicide still worth playing today and in the future? So we are going to say yes. We're not talking about Black Plague. We're not talking about Green Horde or Invader or the new version of Zombicide. We're talking about the original Zombicide. Is it still worth playing today? And yeah, we do think it's really, really good. There's a lot to get because the core set isn't enough. You need to invest in some of the other ones, maybe like, just the basic 3 sets and then pick up the other bits now and again. And there's a lot of stuff here that is Kickstarter exclusive, so you're not going to be able to get hold of that. It's a fun game. It's a fun scenario driven game. It plays up to 8 players. It scales really well. You can play it with 2, you can play it with 4, you can play it with 6, you can play it with any player count. There's a wealth of scenarios available for Zombicide. We printed off a absolute truckload of these scenarios. So if you do pick it up, you do need to go online and pick up some of the scenarios that are available. We're going to give Zombicide 4 out of 5. It is a little bit lacking in some of the core rules. They are a bit wonky. It's a very, very random game. We can't give a game that is this random 5 stars, I'm afraid. But it's still enjoyable, still thematic. And all in all, Zombicide is probably one of the most thematic and fast-paced shoot and roll games. That's Zombicide. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. If you made it this far, give us a thumbs up and we'll see you next time.